Hello there friends, CSGO Live here. In today's video, Dupreeh breaks down Falcons' problems, OverDrive beefs with Richard Lewis, and we dive into the EPL quarterfinals. Plus plenty of other exciting news from the world of CS2, so without further ado, let's get straight to it. Let's kick things off with Zippel, one of the co-owners of Ecstatic and the notorious trader. He recently shared a video showing off some skins he bought from a collector. Well, not just some, it's 320 items, which include multiple OP Dragon Lores, OP Fades, M4A4 Howls, M4A1S Fades, and several high-tier knives in emeralds, rubies, and sapphires, plus a whole ton of other rare items. My friends, we are potentially speaking about $1 million, or you can correct me in the comments below, but well, normally this wouldn't be newsworthy, but there's an interesting twist. You see, in our previous video we covered Ganginho's ban for match fixing, and when things started falling apart for him, he listed teams allegedly involved in fixed matches, and Ecstatic was among them. Looking at the team's sponsors, you won't find any major brands throwing huge money their way or betting companies. And let's be real, what kind of responsible co-owner would blow sponsor funds on personal skins? But well, enough with the fan theories. Tin hats off. There's another explanation. Besides owning Ecstatic, Zippel also runs a third-party skin trading site that surpasses Steam Market, so the money could be coming from there. And most probably, let's be real, it is. While without evidence we can't say that Ecstatic are match fixing, I am pretty much sure that Zippel knows nothing about it. Most probably he just dumped some crypto and decided to buy skins instead. Valve decided to finally speak to the players. Yeah guys, I'm not joking. Basically, Valve had something to say about the latest update. You know, recently the devs took out to Twitter to finally clear up the confusion about the callouts on Anubis. They pointed out that there's only one electrical box on the map, and it's in the connector. So when players say E-box, there's no room for misunderstanding, but calling it connector can cause confusion, because there might be several on the map. So yeah, my guys, now it's E-box and only E-box, or you can be banned by Valve. I'm just joking. They don't really care about us unless we use cheats. By the way, you know who else is always active on Twitter? Our official account, where we drop all the biggest CS news. Go check it out right now. The link is in the description. Also, my friends, do you know what? If Valve decides to speak on Twitter about anything basically, it can mean only one thing. The patch will drop really soon. Or maybe not, you never know with Valve. But well, you know what else Twitter is full of? Drama. And this time it's Richard Lewis versus OverDrive. So according to Richard Lewis, the notorious esports journalist, most of OverDrive's leaks are complete nonsense, based on misinformation. He even accused OverDrive of faking chat logs. And he claimed that the only reason that OverDrive has inside info is because of his connections to Team Spirit, who supposedly let him watch their practice sessions. On top of that, people brought up a hilarious moment from the Major, where Magix shouted OverDrive I love you and joked that OverDrive should be fired from Spirit. Of course, OverDrive responded. He clapped back at Lewis with a few choice words, saying that the journalist was desperate for attention and just looking for drama because of personal beef. Who's actually right? We'll probably never know, but I guess both of them, kinda. If you have any thoughts about this situation, drop them in the comments below. Since we're on the topic of leaks and insider info, let's take a look at what's happening behind the scenes with some of the top teams at EPL, because this event has exposed a lot. Let's start with Team Liquid, where things are complicated. So according to nerds, the roster has a lot of small issues that they're working on, slowly. But the real problems are in-game communication and a proper game plan, which basically says that something's wrong with the coach. You know what, my friends, right now Liquid looks like just a random faces stack, because 3 of their players are stuck on overlapping roles. And even though they made it far in EPL, it's all because of their personal aim or clutches, not because of the tactics or game plans. And when your structure is that messy, fixing it isn't just a quick patch, it should be a full rebuild, I guess. Let's move to G2. They are also struggling. m0NESY even admitted that their CT side is a full disaster. It used to be run by Nico, but there's no clear leader for defense. Instead, everyone except Snax and Taz is trying to take charge, which isn't exactly a recipe for success. And speaking of Taz, his pep talk during a timeout was interesting. He compared their performance to a rock-hard pizza, and not even extra sauce could save them. I mean, sure, it's better than straight up saying we suck, but I'm starting to wonder if Taz is Polish or secretly Italian. And, you know, well, you can't name a single good Italian CS player. No offense, please. And of course, NaVi, another day, another drama, because they can't escape criticism either, especially when we get to the end of the video. Everyone's been talking about the clip where Aleksib tells Ime to stop complaining after one round.
Nice!
Oh god. Alexi, let me go connect next time if I have first spawn. I was very close to it.
Let's go.
Fucking play one round without saying something after?
No,
really?
bro, what? It's good.
Bro,
It's fine.
now with Furia.
Just chill out.
According to their coach Blade, things aren't as bad as they seem. Heated discussions are just part of the game when players are giving it their all. But let's be real, what about individual performances? What's going on with Wonderful or JL? Blade, who has spent over 2,000 days in NaVi, didn't comment on that. At this rate, unless something clicks soon, NaVi might have no choice but to make roster changes. But we will talk about that later. And now, my friends, let's talk about my favorite team, Falcons. Dupreeh decided to speak about the downfall of the Sheikh's super team, breaking down the key reasons behind their failure. So according to Dupreeh, the biggest issue was that Snappy and Zonic had completely different views on the game and just couldn't find common ground. On top of that, there were role conflicts. Both Dupreeh and Madden played similar positions on most maps. Then there was the lack of firepower. Even after Simple joined, the team still wasn't fragging out. And of course, the pressure was overwhelming. Finally, as many have pointed out before, age was a factor as well. Not everyone could still perform at 100% all the time. In the end, these issues weren't exactly new, but what's surprising is that even after Falcons revamped their roster, they're still dealing with the same problems. Moreover, when your ex-player says it, it means something, right? And my friends, if there's one team that's definitely not struggling, it's Vitality. At least that's what both Kassad and Thorin agree on, which is a rare thing, to be honest. Yeah, your favorite analysts are back with another hot take. They claim that Vitality is miles ahead of Spirit. With Robs joining in, the team got a massive boost and Zaivu looks better than ever. But it's not just the firepower, the team is fully motivated, drama-free, and they're riding a serious momentum wave. Meanwhile, Apex continues to hype the squad up, and according to Mezzi, Vitality's captain has an insane game sense. Like, you never know what new strat he'll come up with, or what kind of a mid-round call he'll make. He knows exactly how to bring out the best in every player, and puts in a ton of extra time outside of the game to prepare. Even after all these years in the pro scene, Apex is still hungry for wins, and that might be just the biggest reason Vitality is thriving. But there's one thing we know for sure, Vitality will not win PGL Astana, because they're not even going to it. But the event has already sparked some controversy. At one point, Liquipedia listed the group stage as being held in Romania, which confused a lot of people. PGL, thankfully, were quick to clear things up, saying that every stage will be played in Kazakhstan and that Liquipedia just made a mistake. I mean, my friends, I have to be honest with you, at first I really believed it, because, you know, it's PGL. They do strange organizational things sometimes, but as I already said, thankfully it was just a mistake. By the way, if any one of you are going to Astana in Kazakhstan, you can find friends to go with in the comments below. Now let's talk about the EPL Season 21, as it all started with a showdown between two dragons, Spirit versus Eternal Fire. Major has openly admitted that losing to Spirit earlier this year was one of their most painful defeats, so the Turkish squad had a serious reason for revenge, especially considering their goal to win at least one Tier S tournament this year. So the first map was Nuke, Spirit's pick. And right from the start, it delivered fireworks, as Chopper kicked things off with insane fashion. He pulled off a 2v5 ace in the pistol round.
You get these kills cleanly. Oh, Shiro's been spotted already. Chopper, however, onto Icardia. That's a good start. If Shiro could just find a head, it could still become a factor. Is Chopper really going to do this? Not the ace clutch, not the one, not the leader, the one who's feeling sick, does something truly sickening in the opening round. It's Chopper with all 5.
That must have fired up Spirit, because in the very next round, Donk wiped out 4 players. Eternal Fire had an awful start. They only picked up their first streak of rounds at 1-7. They pulled themselves together at the perfect time and brought the score back to 7-5, which looked not so disastrous. But, well, it wasn't enough. After the side switch, Spirit extended their lead to 11-5. The Turks, though, didn't give up. They won nearly 7 rounds in a row and forced overtimes. The first OTs ended in a deadlock, but in the second OTs, Spirit finally closed it out. It was one hell of a sweaty battle. Next was Anubis, Eternal Fire's pick, and, by the way, their best map. Spirit managed to win the pistol round and the force buy, but after that they completely fell apart, winning just one more round in the first half. So Eternal Fire dominated and took it to 9-3. Spirit tried to mount a comeback, but the round deficit was too big to overcome, and as I already said, it was Eternal Fire's best map, so they just took it. And Mirage was the decider, the final battle. The first half was evenly matched, but after Major took down 4 players in a key round, it looked like Eternal Fire might actually pull ahead. But, well, it wasn't enough. The half ended 6-6, and once sides switched, Spirit completely dismantled the Turkish defense, dropping just 1 round in attack. Oh, and during the match, Donk got a little too heated up and threw some trash talk to the Turkish players.
Okay, no.
But to his credit, he quickly apologized the same day. Next up, G2 versus Mouz, a battle of struggles, I should say. These two are far from their peak, both struggling with inconsistency. First map, Inferno, G2's pick. It kicked things off with a fairly even match, but clutches made all the difference. Early on, m0NESY pulled off a huge clutch in round 2. Later on, Heavy got clutched a key one on round 9.
From Jimmy P, and it's just Heavy God. This time he does going to be fast in towards A, and they're already ahead of him. Heavy God with the flick back round. One bullet would end this for Heavy God, would bring G2 back into the conversation.
I mean, without them, G2 would have been in serious trouble. Thanks to those moments, Mouz edged out the first half 7-5. But after the switch, G2 finally took control. They dictated the pace of the game. Despite a shaky start, they strung together 6 rounds and closed out the map. Next was Nuke, Mouz's pick. Things here looked rough for G2 early on, as Mouz jumped to 7-2 pretty quickly. Fortunately, G2 managed to recover and brought it back to a more manageable 7-5. After the side switch, G2 came back, they even took the lead. But the moment Mouz had enough money, they completely shut G2 down. They won 6 rounds in a row and forced the decider. On Ancient, once again, G2's defense crumbled. Mouz obliterated them in the first half, taking it to 8-4 and forcing G2 yet another comeback scenario. To their credit, I have to be honest, G2 managed to fight back, evening the score and pulling ahead even. But once Mouz once again again stabilized their economy, the game was over. They secured the final rounds, and in the last one, Torji made a quadro. So yeah, as Monesi said, there's something wrong with G2's CT side. Unless they deal with it, things will be rough. Next, Liquid versus Vitality, a one-sided quarterfinal. The most predictable one, I should say, as Liquid had to face arguably the strongest team left in the tournament. I mean, my guys, I don't even know what to say here, because both maps ended 39, and in both cases the first halves were won by Vitality 7-5. It was too easy for ZywOo and the gang. The only real highlight was Apex clutching around early on, and that's about it.
Takes it one step further. They know Apex was coming in late. Tucked in at the car, it's NaVi. Very, very quiet on map 1. You had your doubts. He hangs around and fights Apex out in the open.
Looking at the stats, Robs and ZywOo top the scoreboard, followed by Mezzi. I mean, though Flames' form has clearly dipped, it's not a big deal because all of the other players are just rocking. Now the final match of the day, the one that in the last video I predicted correctly, to be honest. NaVi versus the Mongols, a brutal upset. This match was worth watching. Map 1, Mirage, NaVi's pick. And Natas Vincere started strong. They went 4-0 up and looked like they could close it out early. But once the Mongols got the economy, everything changed. They won almost 7 rounds in a row. It even could have been worse for NaVi if not Wonderful, who clutched a key round with 4 Deagle frags. And after the side switch, the Mongols went full Genghis Han mode, completely annihilating NaVi on T side. Natas Vincere barely scraped together a pistol round, but that was it. They just disappeared from the server. And the Mirage loss clearly shook NaVi, because on Ancient, they looked like a disaster. The Mongols went all in. They secured 9 rounds in the first half. You just had to see it. NaVi were making basic mistakes. At one point, Amzinho wiped out 4 players just because NaVi completely misplayed the situation. After the side switch, things only got worse. NaVi tried to mount a comeback, grabbing 3 rounds, but it was too little too late. And you know things are bad for NaVi when, no offense, Wonderful was their best player of 2 maps. I mean, he clutched, he was the player who made the game, the only one, while all the others were just doing nothing basically. So yeah, NaVi packed their bags, they head home. And next up, my friends, Mouz versus Team Spirit and Vitality versus the Mongols. And I have to be honest with you, this EPL is just amazing. Share your thoughts about the tournament in the comments below. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, drop a like and, well, hit the notification bell. Because we're done for today. Thank you for watching. I'm not saying goodbye for a long time, my friends. See you soon.